Hey guys, what's up and welcome to a new Tesla update video. So today, as per usual, let's go over Tesla stock, let's go over the market, let's go over essentially what is happening today and what we can expect moving into the rest of the week, which is of course just tomorrow, and pretty much the rest of the month, which is also Monday. As we enter what could be a, no pun intended, spooky month, October. But all that being said, let's jump into it. If you enjoy, don't forget to hit that like button. This is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. And of course, if you enjoy my thoughts and the analysis I do, definitely consider subscribing to my YouTube membership. The link is down below for just $2.99. Again, I'm trying to make it cheap and very just reasonable and to filter out potential annoying troll people, essentially. The link is down below. Again, if you're interested, just, I share my thoughts every single day on Tesla, the broader market sometimes bonus stocks, like I'm doing Visa right now for members. And for $5 a month, you could also get access to all of that, plus NVIDIA daily updates as well, which I do as well every single day. So anyway, jumping into it, Tesla closing the day down just over 1%, closing at just above $254 per share, which compared to the market is going to be a, decent underperformance, we'll say, considering QQQ is actually up 0.75%, which is not too shabby, but Tesla definitely underperforming. Even NVIDIA is actually underperforming it slightly, most likely. Like AMD and things like that are helping things. I'm not sure if Micron is part of it, because I know Micron is up a decent amount today, 14%. I'm not sure if Micron is part of QQQ though. Can't remember. Anyway, whatever, it doesn't matter. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make here is the fact that Tesla's down. Now, this is where things are starting to get interesting once again. So yesterday I mentioned how on the 15-minute chart we were essentially forming that rising wedge pattern. Right, this little green small one right here into this same equal highs, right? Higher lows, equal highs, bam, rising wedge, bam. I sold this morning pre-market that I bought yesterday. I told you that little kind of swing trade, if you will. And, it's all good. Now, it pretty much played out to perfection, right? Pretty much played out to absolute perfection. But this is where things are starting to get interesting. And some bearishness is starting to creep in. Now, we need confirmation. I want to make this clear. There are some bearish signs developing on Tesla here. This can finally be the reversal, but we need confirmation ideally tomorrow. Essentially, our red day tomorrow, especially if we go below today's low, and especially if we close below like 252, honestly, ish, would most likely confirm this candle. And at the very least, we'll see mid 240s, if not even lower down to closer to the mid 230s. Is what I would look for, assuming this gets confirmation. So let's talk about this, right? Let's talk about the daily first. What is this potential bearish confirmation? Well, actually, okay, so the thing with me is like I usually know a lot of these patterns. I just always forget what they're called. And thankfully, Vol on Twitter ended up actually posting it, which was very useful, which is a bearish dark cloud cover candlestick pattern. You can see it kind of gives you the kind of outline, if you will, of what needs to happen for this pattern to occur, which is exactly what we got. First thing that has to happen. First day is a long white candle, right? Which was, of course, what we have right here. That was yesterday's candle, right? Nice light, long white candle, right? Decent length, of course, right? Followed by second day, which is today, is a red day, which opens above the first day's high, which we got that. We got that nice gap up. And then after that, second day closes within the first day, but below the midpoint. And that's exactly what we got. Nice long white candle or green candle, whatever, right? Interesting. That shows white, because like usually people have candles as green. I also have it as white. It just looks better in my opinion than green. But anyway, gap up, and then we close back down below in the range of the candle, but pretty much at, if not below, the halfway point of that yesterday's range candle, which pretty much is exactly what we got today. So that's the first step, right? This is a bearish reversal. Now, if you look at the Bulkowski, I looked at it earlier. I actually linked it in right here. Let me go and click it. If you look at this, right, this pretty much talks about this pattern right here, which gives it a theoretical performance, right? It's a bearish reversal, which reverses about 60% of the time. So again, you have to remember these kind of patterns, they're not perfect. They're not guaranteed. Just because we see this today, it doesn't mean Tesla's 100% crashing tomorrow. No, we need confirmation. It needs to be red tomorrow, right? I'm not entirely sure what would fully negate this pattern. Like, would it just be going back above like 257 be enough to negate it, or would it have to completely cross over back up above pretty much today's high to negate it? That's the part I'm not sure about. We'll of course revisit it tomorrow, and we'll just see how the price action confirms tomorrow or not. But a red day tomorrow would most likely confirm this pattern. And again, I think that would begin the trend downwards. Now, a reason why I personally think that there is a chance that this does confirm tomorrow is, well, we have PCE tomorrow morning, right? That could be the reason, or it could not be the reason. Who knows? But technical analysis wise, the one reason that I'm looking at that can potentially confirm this pattern tomorrow is the fact that on the 1 hour, if we zoom in a little bit closer and tighter on this little smaller channel on the 1 hour, right? So we have this bigger channel on the daily, right? This massive, like huge channel that we're in, right? On the 1 hour, we have a smaller channel within that larger channel. You can see the larger channel here, and you see the smaller channel here. Let's zoom in on the smaller one, right? This one is interesting because you can see, pretty much ever since this rally really started, right? We had that massive consolidation pretty much right around here, and then we finally got that rally pretty much from that recent swing low of about 227 since the rally truly began, right? So you obviously make a channel out of this, right? You draw the bottom line, copy paste it, pretty much has a parallel line towards the top of the channel, which is what it creates, right? Top of the channel, and you get, well, an ascending channel. The issue here is the fact that on the 1 hour, you can see we did actually break down below, and we arguably even came up to retest this channel on this 1 hour, which is I think the third 1 hour candle of the day. So we broke down below, came back up to it, kind of retested it relatively closely, and then we kind of continued. And you can even argue the fact that on the 15-minute chart, there is potential that this is just simply a bear flag, right? That we're just simply creating a nice little bear flag here, massive move downwards, and then of course now we're creating what could be, roughly, I'm just very rough drawing, of course here, a bear flag. That is a possibility. So, just watch for this tomorrow. This is pretty important to see how this plays out. If this does play out, this bear flag plays out, and we get the confirmation again, I personally think at the very least, for me to even remotely start getting interested in entering shares or getting potentially slightly bullish, minimum 245. But like, I genuinely believe if this pattern plays out after such a euphoric rally, Tesla will most likely make its way back down to the bottom of the channel over the next week, maybe, or something like that, maybe faster. I don't know the timing, but ultimately will make its way back to the bottom of the channel where it can see a bounce, right? And honestly, best case scenario, there is a chance that it even sees a decent bounce, right? Maybe as we really get closer to that 10-10 range, right? For instance, it could look something like this, and then there is a chance that this bounces and it goes something like this. Like, that is an actual, like, unironically a possibility where it'll set potentially a true double top while still technically maintaining within the channel and just potentially retracing back towards the top of the channel. And coincidentally enough, this section that I just drew, coincidentally enough, pretty much is almost to perfection on October 10. So I don't know, this is just a possibility I'm eyeballing, right? But again, the point I'm trying to make overall though is that weakness is definitely starting to set in. The bullish momentum is definitely slowing down. Again, bearish reversal pattern setting up, which needs confirmation, of course. We have what's it called, the 1 hour breaking down from that smaller channel, right? We have the BX trender. First time it's making a lower high ever since this rally began, pretty much from this 228-ish region. You can see ever since the rally began from 228, which was the smallest green candle right here, you can see constantly making higher highs on the green candles. Today was the first lower high, which again, it doesn't mean that it has to crash. It just means that the bullish momentum is it's slowing down. Like, it is what it is. It's slowing down. My RSI is still overbought, right? At some point, this RSI will get back to oversold territories. It always does. Just a matter of when and what price will that be when it finally does. So just keep that in mind. We are still technically overbought. We have the stochastic bands, or not bands, just the stochastic rather, SMI, very damn close to crossing bearish. So keep that in mind. It did have a false crossover back here, so take it for what it's worth, right? It needs a little bit more of a better crossover than this, right? This was hardly a crossover. But if we get that confirmation on the red day tomorrow, right, this will cross to the bottom. This will trigger this daily reversal pattern, and we will most likely come down to at least 245, if not to the bottom of the channel at mid 230s roughly. So again, that's just kind of what I'm seeing, and that's just kind of what I'm expecting. If you open up my bands, of course, they're still signaling that Tesla, despite today's quote unquote healthy pullback, that I'm sure some people are going to be saying, man, that's a healthy pullback, time to buy. I think Tesla's done correcting. People are probably going to be saying that, even though it rallied pretty impressively. Well, that's just not how, that's just not how it works in my opinion. It can get a rally tomorrow. It can potentially go a little bit higher. Maybe it goes back to the top of the channel tomorrow again, up to 262. It's a possibility. But again, to me, the risk reward up here is just not good. I don't like the risk reward. I need minimum 245 to even consider it. But ideally, I will be eyeballing, closer to mid 230s at the bottom of the channel, roughly. But yeah, that's just kind of what I'm eyeballing for Tesla moving forward, ladies and gentlemen. So let me know what you think down below, right? This is that dark cloud pattern. You can see many times right here. There's a lot of different versions of it. You can look it up yourself if you would like to. So definitely check that out. In terms of options flow, Tesla towards the end of the day to get a little bit of bearish flow, right? Moving in for some expiring pretty much tomorrow and another one expiring the week after. So some bearishness did come in towards the end of the day. Maybe they expect PCE to continue bleeding the market. Who knows for sure? But that is just something to consider. But again, it's not crazy amount of bearishness. I wouldn't put too much weight into that. I'd pretty much honestly just be looking for that daily confirmation tomorrow if we actually do get it, right? Very quick, let's take a look at, markets, right? QQQ, you can see it's still very overbought. Again, this also at some point will end. At some point, it will come back down and retest at the very least the median, if not even come back to oversold territories. That this will at some point end, right? It's not going to stay this overbought forever. RSI, you can see very, very overbought. Let's just open up the RSI here. This is QQQ as RSI on the daily chart. I mean, it's not even me being bearish or anything like that. Every single time it's been overbought, it's reversed and it came down at the very least to the midpoint, if not at some point eventually to oversold territories. That's happened every single time. And why would this be any different? I don't know. The only difference is the fact that how much higher can it push, so that by the time it does get back to oversold territory, maybe it won't actually be too much of a drawdown. That's really the only question mark I would say. But QQQ, you can see very damn close to also crossing back down to being bearish on the stochastic as well. If tomorrow's a red day, it most likely will confirm it, and most likely the BX trender will confirm a lower high as well on QQQ, which can put further pressure on Tesla. And SPY is looking very similar as well, arguably a little bit weaker actually, but similar as well. So I don't know, that's just what I'm looking at, right? We'll see how it plays out. We'll see how PCE comes in tomorrow. We'll see how the final day of September on Monday goes, and we'll see how we enter October, because it is an election year. So we'll see. But all in all, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button. See you for the next one. Peace.